Yeah, I can see you there. I can see all of you lights looking at me like, what are you doing? Oh, sorry. National energy production is big business. It needs large amounts of capital and typically involves mega projects, far from the public eye and even further from their control. But the current way of doing things has to stop. It has led us to where we are, deep in an energy crisis that we can't seem to get out of, while adding to the climate crisis that is rapidly heating the planet. The message from the youth is poignant, deft, and clear. We need to transition to renewable energy as our primary source, and we need to do it like our survival depends on it. 'Cause it sorta does. But just as important as when we do it, it's crucial how we do it. People in government tell us that only private companies have the capacity to move us away from coal, oil, and gas. Well, I'm going to tell you why this is actually nonsense. Privatized energy production shifts the focus away from providing electricity as a social right to a mere means of making profits for a handful of incredibly rich individuals who own shares in the companies that provide the electricity. What often happens is instead of money being reinvested back into the energy system, it just adds to the piles and piles of money that these people already have. Why are we always expected to pick up the cost of a system that's not working for us? One word describes all of this: profit. Privatization is going to make it even harder to provide energy for the working class and poor communities. This is why we need to avoid privatization, rather move towards a system of socially owned renewable energy. Simply put, social ownership means the production and distribution of electricity will be publicly owned, through the people, by the state. But we know that any state-owned industry is not going to be any better than the government that runs it. And we also know that our current leaders are leading us on a death march. So this tells us that we are facing a crisis that can only be solved with governments that truly serve the people. In other words, the fight for climate and energy justice is also the fight for real democracy and public participation. So where do we start? First, we need to talk about this in every workplace, community hall, and place of learning, to get others to understand what is at stake if we sell off our power to the highest bidder. Next, we need to act. This can be direct action, mobilizing with feet on the ground, or through the ballot. If we can build a critical mass of people willing to stand up for socially owned renewables and a real just transition, we can all move South Africans out of the darkness together, but on our own terms.